since we have been observing, witnessing this discussion on Article 35A, and it has been the talk of the day. Each and everywhere we find people talking, discussing this issue. This is of great importance. Today I would love to just try as a student of law to define what this 35A is all about. 35A empowers the state legislature to define the state's permanent residents and their special rights and privileges. This article was being added to the Constitution through Presidential Order 1954 with the then J&K state's concurrence. This article is often referred to as Permanent Residence Law, which prohibits non-permanent residents from permanent settlement in the state, from acquiring immovable property, from getting government jobs or scholarships and aids. Some interpret this article as discriminatory against Muslim women in J&K because, as per their version, it disqualifies them from their state subject rights, and since they are married to the people outside state, as such, there had been the judgment. It's a landmark judgment from our Honorable High Court. It had been passed in the month of October 2002. The Honorable High Court said non-permanent residents, these women who are married to people outside state, they don't lose their rights. The children of such women, however, don't have the succession rights. This is what had been held in by our Honorable High Court. Since we have seen for last few years that the Delhi-based NGO We the Citizens, they have filed a petition in Honorable Supreme Court wherein it challenged the validity of Article 35A. In the year 2014, this petition came to be filed on so many grounds. Like, first ground was taken by them that it was added into the Constitution by virtue of an amendment under Article 368 of the Constitution of India. So, in order to understand what this 368 is, we need to go through the contents and amendments of the Article 368 of the Constitution. What it says? It says that Parliament of India has got the powers to make the amendment of the Constitution itself. It may add, it may vary, it may repeal any provision, any article of the Constitution of India. So these powers are being, there are inherent powers of the Parliament of India to amend the Constitution. Therefore, it is being clarified now. It is not the Supreme Court of India which has got the powers to repeal, but the Parliament of India. Therefore, we are mistaken. We misconstrue these provisions. The petitions filed in the Supreme Court are baseless and groundless, and they have not. These petitions have not been filed within the provisions of law governing the subject. The subsection 2 of this 368 article of Constitution of India says, that's very important. Our people in J&K, they must know that for that matter, the Parliament, there must be a bill. Bill is to be introduced in the Parliament of India, and that bill must be passed by the majority, that is 2/3 of the majority membership present and voting. So this has not been done. The set procedure established, prescribed and described in terms of 368 has not been followed. So this is what the law says. So legally the petitions filed by these NGOs and other organizations, may it be BJP or any other political organization, those have been filed in haste, in air, without any mandate or authority under law. So what I meant to say, that there were a number of grounds on the basis of which this Article 35A had been challenged. Its validity had been challenged. The second ground taken by the in the petition is that it was never I mean, this amendment was never presented before the Parliament of India. So if this is the question, if Parliament has got the powers in terms of Article 368, so then how they have been filing petitions in Supreme Court of India for scrapping of Article 35A? It is being clarified now. It is the Parliament of India which has got the powers of variation, addition and repeal. So the Supreme Court of India cannot repeal it. So for that matter, it needs that they have to take the recourse to Parliament of India. They have not done it. Therefore, the grounds taken in the petition are baseless and groundless. So how could Supreme Court assume and presume the powers which are not being inherited in it? So therefore, the another point which I would love to highlight before to the people of Jammu and Kashmir is that this article has been criticized even by the BJP. That BJP declared it as a provision that encourages alienation. They say that it deepens the concept of a separate identity. So another point which they say that it creates a political gap between the people of J&K and the rest of the India. Another point which they say that this Article 35A is a constitutional mistake. It has not been brought through parliamentary process, but by virtue of the Presidential Order 1954, as I already quoted and referred the same, and I replied it. Therefore, the grounds taken in the petitions are based on concoction, and there is no relevance at all with the facts and circumstances of the case. See, if we retain this Article 35A, what would be its impact? Or alternatively, if the same article is being scrapped or abrogated, what would be its impact? Its impact would be that it would further be the reason for erosion of J&K special status. The second thing, it would trigger demographic change in the state, Muslim majority state. Third thing, that there is a possibility of Hindus flooding into the state of J&K, which would create state of chaos, confusion and commotion everywhere. Third thing, that it would give rise to the crimes at a higher level, and people would witness in near future, if at all we would not raise our voices, people would face and witness that there will be the case offences against the human beings like kidnapping cases, rape cases, murders, theft, etc., etc., etc. Therefore, this majority, the Muslim majority state would turn into minority. Therefore, if at all tomorrow we will be asked to go ahead with the process of plebiscite, so we'll be in minority. We won't be in a position to, cast our vote in favor of plebiscite. So we'll be in minority. We would have been turned into minority. So these are the questions. These are the apprehensions which the people of our J&K state have to take into consideration. May it be Kashmir region, may it be Ladakhis, may it be Jammu region. I personally appeal to the people of Jammu to have at least to take these facts into consideration, that it has worst effect on Jammu. Therefore, in view of the law laid down in the Constitution in terms of Article 368, the Supreme Court of India cannot judicially review these articles, may it be 35A, 370 or any other article in the Constitution itself. So therefore, the Supreme Court of India has no locus standi to interfere, to abrogate or scrap it. So these were some important facts which I wanted to bring into the notice of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Now see what has happened since the institution of the petition in the Supreme Court. It has got worst effect on the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Number one, life in the state has come to a standstill position. Number second, there is a complete shutdown, confusion, distress, embarrassment, inconvenience to the people caused by virtue of these petitions and all that. Third, situation across the valley would not be peaceful. There will be, lack of peace, tranquility in the state. There will be untoward incidents. There will be, the state's economy would shatter. Educational institutions would be non-functional, which would have very far-off consequences. So, the petitions which have been filed in the Supreme Court need to be dismissed forthwith without any further delay. And the political parties national political parties in New Delhi, since we have seen either through newspapers or news channels, they have remained as mute spectators. There is a duty cost on them. They should come forward. At least they should say a word in favor of 35A. We know that we don't believe them, but at least there is a provision. It is being incorporated in the constitution by virtue of their presidential order. So they must respect it. So there is a need, even in our J&K state, the leadership, may it be a separatist leadership, may it be any other leadership, they should come forward. I mean, there must be an unanimous approach. People must be one and united. And this is in fact the case wherein we need to be one and united. I appeal to the people of Jammu and Kashmir to be one and united. Inshallah Rahman, this petition will be dismissed forthwith.